and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 21st of December to you all. It's flying. But we have our little gingerbread man for day 21. I do have a trashy, which actually I think I'm going to move over here. I pinched my other sticky mat that I've been using for doing my own diamond painting last night. So it is pretty sticky at the moment, so I'm trying not to put it directly on my ABs. It's fine on any other drill. AB, more often than not, it's fine, but it can pick up the coating if it's major sticky, which, considering this one's fresh out the pack, it is. I have one of our other trashies that is a multicolour. We tried a 3-tone colour. Didn't work as well as we'd hoped. Didn't show the 3 tones. In fact, it looks different colours depending on which one you get. But they're quite cute for trashies. So I thought I would use one of those today, coming in January. I'm using a tray from August 21 and one of our limited edition pens that I can't actually remember which month this one was. For some reason, I don't have it noted down. But we'll start with our Grady Grey. Do our little borders and go from there. See how far I can get zoomed in. But yeah, I hope everybody is very nearly ready for Christmas and that everything is sorted. I've got one item that I'm not sure if it's going to turn up in time. But luckily, it is not just one person's present and they do without if it doesn't. It is sort of, it accompanies another gift and it's the small part of it, so that's not too bad. But yeah, comments, questions. Okay, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, thanks everyone for keeping me company early this morning while she couldn't sleep. She said, as it was still dark and she couldn't find her plug to attach to the light pad, she said she had to improvise. By the time her hubby got up and walked into the lounge rubbing his eyes, he caught sight of me dotting away, donning my trusty head torch. She said he just stopped mid-track, stared at me and then carried on with a little smile, knowing I'm in my happy place. That's all. That is dedication. Dedication right there, Kay. She said, see you all tomorrow. Love it. And just imagine sitting there pretty much in the dark, waiting for the sun to rise with a little head torch on so that you can see what you're doing. I can imagine it worked really well as well, actually. I think a head torch would be awesome, because quite often that is what you need, isn't it? It's the overhead light directly at your canvas. Can sometimes even work better than the light pad. But yeah, makes me smile. Yvette, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's loving the Advent. She said Jay would like to say thank you. Yvette is Jay's mum. So Jay would like to say thank you to Taylor for the comment and shout out on your video. She said he's buzzing and while enjoying doing his Advent calendar. He's well and truly been on the ball with his Advent calendar as Jay. She said, much love to you all. Happy diamond painting, everyone. Yeah, he's been doing really well. Keep seeing his posts up every day of him completing his square. It wouldn't surprise me if he completes his square before he opens his presents on Christmas Day. Would not surprise me at all. Alaya says she's also using the orange tray, which matched what I was using on the 12th of December. Right, I have completed my grey. Just checking there wasn't any in the main picture. Let's go for the dark grey, and then we can get the black done, which I really like doing the black when the symbols are square. I think it really starts to bring the picture to life. Jackie says she is actually doing section 10 on her Christmas gnome, and this comment is on the 17th of December. She said she hasn't had time to diamond paint since the 9th. She does say today is the 17th as she left this comment. She said as she's been doing all sorts of catching up with chores and Christmas wrapping, etc. She says she's looking forward to January when she can slob out in her jammies and diamond paint to her heart's content. That sounds like bliss. Though you might be able to start a bit sooner. Maybe you'll be able to start between Christmas and New Year. That forgotten time period of December. Maybe you'll get a few days in there as well. Time will tell. Cat Lady, she says yay. She says she finished before me today. She has moved her canvas, she says, to flat on the desk, and it seems to have helped. She also said about the wax in metal tips. She says she is inclined to agree. She said some of the metal tips seem to have less space in the tip for wax, so less space than the brass ones. She says she's trying to persevere with sticky dots. She said today's square was all done with a sticky dot. She said she did get her Christmas cake made. She's feeding it daily at the moment. And today she also wrapped. So she's just got one trip to the shops for veg, etc. I'm blessed. My sister-in-law does that. She says, and then she's ready for Christmas. Awesome work. Everybody is getting very close to being ready. I'm trying to get these last ones. I still think I am going to have to get a few more out of my pot though. I don't think I have quite tipped out enough. It took me quite a while, or it felt like ages, to get the glue dot in this pen primed because I was using this pen last night. I finally did my video to kit up my carrot art painting, and I was very eager to start that last night. Decided to get myself a different tray and a different pen, which I sometimes do when it comes to a new painting, and then I tend to get lazy and don't change it that often. So yeah, I got this new pen, and it was a new metal tip. It didn't have any glue dot in it, and it seemed to take ages to be able to get it to prime properly. But now I'm hoping that it will last me a good long while before it needs any more attention. I think that's what can get frustrating with glue dots, is the time to just get them to that little sweet spot. And once you've got them to that little sweet spot, then they're great. It just takes the time to make them a little bit less tacky. Liz, she said, thanks Rebecca. She said she opened her day 4 on her 12 days Advent calendar, and she loves it. And that makes me think, what was day 4? Okay, love it. I just had to have a quick look as to what it was, which is not helpful for those that don't have a 12-day calendar, so I do apologise. She says definitely an item she thinks that could be repeated next year. She said she finished before me. She said I was just over halfway on the blacks as she was putting the last few drills back into their pot. She said lots of colour blocking on today's square, which was the 17th. She said, and she was using a multi-placer. She was using a 3-placer that was bought from me in December launch. She said she's loving it. She's also got a 4, 5, a 4 and a 5, but 3 was the first one that she picked up. She normally uses a 4-placer. Get all these multi-placing people. I feel like I really need to get going with my multi-placing a lot more. It just doesn't enter my head when I sit down to diamond paint. It's something I have to consciously think of using and then be in the right frame of mind to give it a go, because it's not what I'm used to. It's so easy to just go for what I class as the easy option, which is just a single placer, because it's what I'm used to, especially when I sit down to diamond paint, which is normally nearer the end of the day when tiredness kicks in. Grey Legrand, she says, thank you for explaining the story of the business and cross stitch. She said, if you can't find a place to hang it, she says, I will gladly find a spot in my home. She said, it's so beautiful. Thank you. That is definitely one that I think I will be finding a spot. It took so long in the making that it needs to find a spot. Sorry. Melissa, she says, hey Rebecca. She says she loves the Christmas tree. She said her tree back in Kent is black with blue and white lights. She says she has finished the painting that she had kitted up while in the refuge. So she decided to de-kit all of her diamonds from her 9 months in the refuge. She said she started on round. She said, but after 2 hours, she had to stop as she was sitting on the floor doing it. She said she had a lot of aches and pains. She said she might do a little bit more later. Yeah, sort of clear the decks before you get yourself a new project in your new home on the go. And you'll probably enjoy the process just that little bit more, knowing that you don't have all those diamonds to put away in the background. Because sometimes if you get too many, it can make it a lot harder if you've got a few to de-kit. That is additionally why I always try and make sure that I de-kit before I kit up. Because while I enjoy de-kitting, I don't enjoy it if I have multiple of them to do. I much prefer it if I'm just doing one at a time and getting it finished off. Having said that, I do have another one to de-kit to get a video ready for January for my mystery. So I might need to put that on as first thing on my to-do list today so that I can feel as though that's all cleared up, ready for the next. Busy Lizzie, she said, hi Rebecca. She said she watches and she gets excited when my daily videos have been uploaded. She said when she finishes watching the day's video, she has been watching the June Waffle from 2021. She said, and the winter tree painting. And she's realised a few names of people that must have been one of the people that's followed you like from the beginning, from the first. She said, so Lady Dax with a pea jelly. She says, when watching the June Waffle 21, she said their names pop up. Yes, they have been, both of them have been watching and commenting for quite a while. She says how times have changed. She said since back then, you never used glue dots, but you were interested in trying them, but you were primarily wax. That was a thing like multi-places that I kept meaning to try, but didn't quite have the headspace to try when I sat down to diamond paint, and I just went with wax. I just stuck with what I knew. She said she's loving both. She said sometimes she does wish they could either be 2 videos in one day, she said, or a much longer video each day as she diamond paints while listening to me, not watching as much. She said, thank you for your videos. Well, if I ever find a way to get 2 lots of 24 hours in a day, then I'd be more than happy to do more videos each day. I'd be more than happy to do a whip and chat and something else each day, but without the 24 hours, unfortunately I just don't have the time. The December waffle can sometimes push my limit as to amount of time that I can whip and waffle in a day and still get everything else done, which is a shame, because I do really enjoy a good whip and waffle, and I do really enjoy, you know, when I am working on one of my larger paintings, just whipping and waffling until I feel like stopping, which often is longer than the likes of this, but it is what it is while it is a busy time. Hubby is actually now off from work today now until between Christmas and New Year, so I am feverishly trying to get my advanced videos that I need to do done so that we can officially start Christmas. Oh, and I do need to pack. I haven't even thought about packing yet, so we'll see what today brings. We'll see if I manage to get the last of my videos filmed today, or whether they descend into tomorrow. Susan, she says, we nearly finished together today. She said you beat me by about 3 ABs in the end. She said the dancing snowman is quite cute. She says, but she is a bit disappointed as she has gapping on this one. She said normally the gapping is quite visible with a light pad on, but when she turns it off, the squares look pretty good. She said today's is pretty noticeable. Oh, I am sorry to hear that. What diamond is it that's making it gap? Because it's normally one colour over another. If something's going to be gappy, it's normally a certain colour that does it. Maybe we can see if we can get you a replacement for that one. She says she's still enjoying it though, and she says thank you so much for sharing. Grey Legrand, she says you totally need to do Elise. She said she is stunning. She says regardless, no one says you need to stick to the rules or to my own rules. She says they provide structure but allow flexibility. I do agree. Elise is an absolutely stunning one. That one is a Diamond Art Studio though, and I have done a few of those this year over the course of 2022. One of the videos I did actually film for January is a run through of the paintings I completed in 2022. So you can have a look what actually got done. and how many I actually managed to complete. It actually changed from the year before as well, so it was quite interesting how it seems to have gravitated more towards one size of painting than another. But yeah, Elise is definitely going to be one that is in my decision wheel for a potential pick after the one I'm doing now. Susan again, she says, a miracle has occurred. She is all caught up. She's did day 16 and day 17 today. She says she's praying that nothing else happens. Oh, I've got a bit bigger diamond for that one. It's got a little bit of a fatter bottom. She says she's praying nothing else happens from now until finish so that she can paint with me each day. She said, are your trashy trays going to come in multiple colours for us to choose? She said, or is it random colours that you pick? She also said that she really enjoyed the solid background on today's square on the 17th. She said it went really fast. She said, thank you so much for sharing. Trashy trays will potentially be a mixture. So the initial plan when we launch in January is we will have the standard colours. So the pink, the white and the grey will always be available as standard. We then have some extra colours. For example, this one I'm using today and the blue I used yesterday. They are in effect limited colours. However, we have done a full roll of filaments. So you are talking, I haven't done a final count. I'm waiting for one roll of one of the colours we're going to do to finish so that I can actually count how many we get out of a full roll. But I would say over 100. So while it's limited, it's not likely to sell out within minutes. It's likely to stay for potentially a few months. We also have second rolls of some of them, the likes of the blue. So we do have another roll of the blue that if the trashies go down, we will do some more. So yeah, we're going to have a couple that are more limited in stock, but not our usual kind of limited in stock. And they will all be trays that you can choose the colour. So when we launch, we're going to have the 3 basic colours. Then we have this triple colour. We have a blue, a red and a black to launch with initially. Dependent on, you know, as and when we can and when we can free up a printer for it, we will add more colours to the trashy. Because I can print more trashies in sort of one print time, it's a lot easier to keep a decent amount of stock up for trashies to hopefully make them last longer because they're smaller and they print quicker. So yeah, we're going to have those, but then we will have on occasion, not in January, it may be a few months before this happens, but then we will have some trashies that will be a limited mystery trashy, and they are any trashies, so it's probably only a couple of each, maybe 5 or 6 maximum, of a particular colour that are from using up the last of the filament from the limited edition colours that we do. So when I tend to put a new roll of filament on, I tend to do a trashy just to make sure that all the old filament has come through the machine. And when I do this, sometimes there is remnants of the old filament, so they don't become stock. But sometimes it is the old filaments already, you know, been got rid of or is not visible. And then when we get to the end of a roll, if it's not enough filament to print a big tray, we may get away with printing 1 or 2 small trays. They will go up as sort of a mystery item, and you will just get a random mystery trashy tray that could be any colour. Any colour that's been probably done as a limited edition over the last few months. So we'll put them up every now and then, but we'll probably wait until we have a decent amount. I don't want to put those up each month because then it's not going to be a mystery. It's probably going to be that month's limited colour, which sort of defeats the object. Plus we could potentially only have 3 of them and then they would sell out too quick. So we're just going to stockpile those for a while until, you know, we decide we have enough, and then they will go up as a mystery limited. So it's a mixture of the 2, but for now we will just be launching with 7 colours to launch. 4 of them will be classed as limited, though we have a decent amount of stock of said limited. There'll be more around for hopefully a month or 2 before they all disappear. It really depends because you guys surprise me all the time, but we will have more than 100 of them, so we'll see how long they last. We'll know better once we launch in January. And then we may still keep bringing out the odd limited edition colour of Trashies. It all depends on how busy the printer will be, or the printers. And what they need to prioritise trays for stock and limited edition trays. But if they have any free time, they will be put to work on another colour Trashie. Jo says she's still working on her Advent. She says she's waiting for Christmas to do her 12-day Advent bags. She said she hopes that she can at least end on a nice note for this holiday. She says enjoy your vacation and thanks for the whip and chat during this season. You too, Joy, have an amazing Christmas. Lady Dax says she loves today's section 17 as it looks a lot like a mini Yule tree. She said it's a foot-high black tree that has tiny crochet baubles. She says that P. Jelly made for me. She said her tree is 2 foot high and has diamond painting decorations on it that she did for her. Oh, lovely. That's nice. Joy has also said, she said, unfortunately, in relation to the Advent, she said, unfortunately, she was one who got some bad 310 squares. And she says she's run out of 5200. So she's substituting with 762. With the square painting, you should have had 2 bags of 5200 Joy, which should give you plenty. But by all means, of course, contact us if you have, you know, ran short of any diamonds at all, and we'll definitely look at sorting that out. That's what we're here for. Okay, so Gingerbread Man is visible, and now I get the fun part of filling him all in. That's the best bit. Rachel, or Cross Stitch and Tat, she said even though she didn't comment yesterday, she said she is loving the Advent. She said both the painting and the 24-day box. She said yesterday was a busy day for Santa and Mrs. with 3 different stops. And then the granddaughters were there when they finally made it home. She said the 4-year-old wanted to diamond paint like Grandma and made an ornament. She said she posted a video to the group where she said it was too hard, but she encouraged her and she finished. I do remember seeing that. That was a little Christmas tree ornament. It was gorgeous. She said we also made a shirt for her mummy and her little sister. A red shirt with a hand printed Christmas trees and some of Grandma's spare special drills for ornaments. She said she's sort of surprised with how busy they've been, that she's still managing to keep up with both paintings she's doing, but she is loving the me time. Sounds like you're definitely squeezing in that me time, Rachel, but it sounds like how busy you are, that me time is also very needed. And I'm glad you're managing to get it in, get it squeezed in, get that bit of time. Talia, she said on Wednesday she was feeling in the mood for a square diamond painting. She said so naturally she worked on a Paint Gen mini set, she said, and 4 days later she's behind in her advent because she was getting too much satisfaction from the minis. She said bit of an oops there. She did say on a side note, she said, would you consider doing a live for the final section of your Heaven and Earth design? Lives, it's never a never. It's not a never. But lives can be extremely, I don't know, if you're there for the live, they're great. If you're watching it afterwards, it can seem very bitty doing a live, making sure, you know, that the questions you're answering and the things that you're doing, that you still say them out loud so that people watching it back later can actually make sense of it. I'd have to see the setup as well, because at the moment I film on my camera. It's not like I film on my phone that can be directly uploaded to YouTube. Plus with the Heaven and Earth design, it's quite complicated, so maybe keeping up with a live chat, it might not be the best painting to try and keep up with a live chat, but maybe I can do a premiere so that when it does go live, when the video does go live, I will be there in the chat to be able to chat to you all. Maybe that will be a nice in-betweeny. She also says, thanks heaps for all the joy you bring into this wonderful community during what can be, she said, a stressful season. She says, beware that Australia is a little bit colder than it normally is this time of year. She said that might just be in Victoria though. Yeah, my parents did let me know they have had what they call a milder summer, though the day we land, it is over 30 degrees the day we land, but then it does go back to sort of low 20s, and this is Celsius, low 20s, which to us is a UK summer, so I'm more than happy with that. To us it will feel like summer, albeit a British summer rather than an Australian one, but that is quite possibly a very good thing. Roz says, this happy daft snowman, she said, is so apt for her and her family. She said, we finally exchanged on our house sale today. Woohoo! She says she's moving on the 9th of January, and as soon as the boxes are unpacked, she is doing this fabulous kit. Awesome. That'll be a nice moving in treat, because you will definitely need me time by the time you have finished moving in, that's for sure. trying to get these last few the right way up so that I can turn it round, turn my tray round. Kaz says she is playing catch up on videos today. She's had a busy day. She says, though, she has to get some diamond paintings in. She says she's completed the 17th, but also the 18th, as she's going to have a busy day again tomorrow. She says she's just returned home from her work's Christmas party, which was great fun. Good to hear. And a Christmas party this side of Christmas. Depends on where you work, whether it's often this side of Christmas or if you work in somewhere, sometimes like retail, that is extremely busy at Christmas. They often put off their Christmas parties until after, which can be a little bit different. Oh, what are you doing hiding down there? Oh, you're the wrong colour. That is one of the Anchor diamonds that was hiding down there, because I actually remember which one it is. I will pop it away. Must have got stuck there when I emptied them. Lisa says she thinks that the square number 1 is still her favourite, which is this bauble. She said, how in the world, she says, do you place your diamonds so exact? She says she's been diamond painting since 2013. She says, and mine are definitely not that straight. She says, especially rounds, but squares too. I don't know whether it's just I've always liked many things to be quite neat and straight. So whether I've been practicing my whole life rather than just for diamond painting, I'm not sure. But I do slow down when I get near the canvas. And with these rounds, because they're nicer quality rounds, there is actually an element of butting them up to the next one, which is what can help me keep straight lines, is I'm butting them up to the next one. So a bit like squares, they're sort of having to go in a nice straight line. So otherwise, I don't know. I guess a lot of it is my personality as much as it is the practice. Grey Legrand says, wow, she says she didn't even think about me being in a different hemisphere for the holiday. She said she's been in the Dominican Republic and Bolivia in December. She said it was a shocker coming home. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping our weather warms up a little bit before I come home. I can imagine it being rather nippy. Right, I'm going to continue with all my normal colours, I think, for these. And then I'll fill in my little ABs on my gingerbread man at the end. Colleen, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, do you get sore hands? She says, when you're doing your diamond painting. She says, plus her feet go to sleep on her too. No, I don't tend to get sore hands that much. I can actually end up with sort of a little bit of like, I don't know if it's like tennis elbow, but I tend to find that even if I've diamond painted all day, it's not always as bad as if I've done something else all day repetitive. Normally, you know, I don't know, some repetitive item getting stock ready for the shop can actually make it worse than diamond painting, but it's very hit and miss when I get it. With my hands, not so much. Maybe think about while you're diamond painting, if you find your hands do get sore, think about how hard you're gripping the pen. Because it could be that if you're gripping the pen tighter than you realise, that's actually what's causing you pain. I hold the pen quite loose. And I did have to train myself to do that. I did have to consciously think about how I was holding the pen. You don't need to press down hard for the glue to be able to get the diamonds. And I do often then just use a finger to just push diamonds down, just to make sure, because I'm not pressing down very hard. I tend to stop pressing down as soon as the glue's picked up the diamond. As soon as the glue's got hold of it, then I'm out of there. I'm done. So maybe think about that. In relation to your feet going to sleep, all I can suggest on that one is move often. So I will often move when I'm diamond painting, but I am a natural fidget. I will get up, make a brew, go switch some washing, and then go back to diamond painting. So even if I am diamond painting for long periods of time, I have quite a few sort of 5-minute movement in with that, which can help stop my feet going to sleep. Plus, I say, I'm a natural fidget, so I'm probably forever moving in my seat anyway. I'm forever changing the position that I'm stood in while I'm doing this. I will, give different feet a rest at different times and shuffle a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. Just, keep myself moving, keep that blood flowing, and stop having any, adverse aches and pains that I don't need. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. Right, I'm going to do my number 21 and then I'm going to move on to my ABs. Kathy, she says, by the time I read this, she said you will probably be in or on your way to Australia. I'm still here, Kathy. I'm doing quite well at comments at the moment. I'm not fully caught up, but day 17 is better than it has been on some of the other days I've been doing this. She said she just wants to thank me for all that I do. She says you work so hard, she said, and made countless people happy this year. She said, have a fabulous time with your family in Australia. She said, Merry Christmas to you and your kids, hubby, mum and dad, and the relatives that you will get to be with. She said, enjoy every minute of it. Thank you so much, Kathy. Family keep asking me, they're like, what do you want to do while we're here? And I'm like, I don't know, just going with the flow. I've done all the tourist bit on previous visits. I just want to go, decide each day what we want to do, if anything. Right, let me grab my pen I've been using for my ABs. Ooh, actually opened it on the right end this time. Linda says she has learnt to start her cross stitch from the bottom of the pattern area. She said there is a lot of counting, she says, of the graph involved. She said she's left-handed, so she found it much harder to place the X's properly if she started in the middle. She said for diamond painting, she starts on the top left, as she finds it better for the canvas to hang down off her desk before the drills are placed. She says, plus being left-handed, she prefers her hand to go over the placed drills, not over the glue. She says, we're all different. We are, and know which way is right or wrong. It's what works for you. The only reason, or the main reason, I think I find working from the bottom works better for me is because of it hanging over the easel. And therefore anything that sort of, when it's finished, I have a space on my table for it to go rolled up between, my easel and myself. So because I don't have that leaning on it problem, I find it better to start from the bottom and work my way up it, so that then my clips that are holding it onto my easel are only touching the blank canvas. But it is completely each to their own. Alaya says she has wax in some pens and glue dots in some others. She says, how do I tell the difference? It's easier with wax when you use the pink wax, because often the colour will tell you which one it is. The blue wax, I sometimes find it's harder, but quite often, if need be, I think you just need to take it out with a pair of tweezers and you will find glue dots will stretch and wax more often than not doesn't. Okay, oh look, I was just getting to the comments from the 18th as well, but gingerbread is finished, so I'll have to start on comments left on the 18th for tomorrow. But let's move this, let's zoom out so we can see him surrounded by his friends. Bosom buddy, Mr. Snowman, Mr. Scared Snowman with his hands up. So nearly there. Over to this side, and we'll complete this side of it for tomorrow. I'm trying to have a look. All the backgrounds are nice blue background for this one. Have we got, oh, we do have another yellow one yet to do. That's this one up here. I do like the yellow background as well. I like them all. That's my problem. Anyway, 21st is done for today. Thank you as always to all of you for joining me and for all your questions. And I will speak to you all again tomorrow.